So good.
Night mode.
Yeah. You're aware of everything. You can taste the air, like everything.
Right.
Fish on! Yeah!
That's a fish.
Ooh, did you see it?
I saw it.
Nice. Come on, buddy.
Alright, right there.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Right. Grab that lead ball for me.
Yeah. Yes!
Willy salmon.
Boom! Get back. Woo! One fish!
Welcome aboard, Mr. Fish.
Oh, heck yeah.
I want to get,
Yep. Whatever you want to get.
come on in here with me. There's the first one of the day. Ash is on the board.
Boom! One fish.
That one took bulky blade.
Oh, nice.
One of our
Love it.
Italian shrimps.
Okay. Yep, the hooks are in there pretty good. This is a good one.
Perfect.
Love it.
Should we go get another?
Let's do it again. Again.
How's it going, everyone? Shane Magnuson here from Northwest Bait and Scent. We're going to talk springers today. We fish springers on the Willamette River, and we fished prawn spinners. So we're going to talk about prawn spinners, and these prawn spinners not only work here on the Willamette River, but they also work up and down the Columbia, whether you're fishing Wind River, Drano Lake, or any other spring Chinook fisheries, all the way up to the Snake. And we're going to get in depth on this, but first go subscribe to our YouTube channel at Northwest Bait and Scent, and be prepared for lots of good information. So the first thing we're going to talk about is bait preparation. We use a lot of different styles of shrimp based on what set they want and how we prepare them for the next day's fishing. And we're going to go over that first, and so that you're ready. And then next we're going to go over what spinners we're using and why, and how to bait them properly, and the basic setup. So first off, we're going to talk about our tubs of shrimp here. We have some shrimp that are here in tuna, which you can tell. This next tub is a real basic plain shrimp that I pulled right out of the jar and added some scent to. And then this last tub is my Italian shrimp that we add some garlic to. So first off, let's start with the tuna. These tuna shrimp over the years have been a very good springer killer, especially as the water starts to warm up a little bit later in May. And this is a pretty basic tuna. I take tuna in oil and I drain most of the oil out of the can. You can use Star-Kissed, you can use Chicken of the Sea, but I would say 3/4 to 80% of the oil out of the can. And I will dump that tuna into this tub. From there, I add scent. In this tub, we've added the Graybills salmon formula, and we've also added some of the tuna belly, which gives it the more oily tuna belly flavor. From there, we've added the shrimp back into the tub and let them sit overnight. What that's going to do, shrimp are like sponges, so they're going to soak up that tuna oil and all that scent overnight and give those shrimp a real tuna type smell with their shrimp scent. So the biggest question I have when it comes to adding scent into tuna fish for anything is how much scent. And in this case, what I like to do is I like to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of the salmon formula, and also 2 to 3 tablespoons of the tuna belly. And that'll give that tuna nice and moist and plenty of oil to soak into those shrimp. Our second container of shrimp is a real plain shrimp. So this shrimp has been cured in the jar like all of these, and I've pulled them out. A lot of great shrimp out there, whether you're using Columbia Basin bait or Washington coons or looney coonies. This is just straight out of the jar, and then we have basically just added scent right to them to keep the natural flavor. Again, we use the salmon formula because early in the spring when the water's cold, springers really like that anise smell out of that salmon. So we've added to just the few shrimp I had in here, we added about a tablespoon of salmon formula, and then I added just a little bit of the sand shrimp in here to keep the little extra shrimpy flavor. And so that's just a real basic plain shrimp right out of the jar with just a little bit of scent on it. Day in and day out seems to always work and is a real good baseline before you start adding in a lot of other scents on other stuff. All right, so moving on to our next tub of shrimp. This is my third flavor of coon shrimp we like to use. And this is going to be a scented shrimp that is more intense. It's more of an aggressive smell. And that I find tends to start working a little bit later into May when the water starts warming up more. And these shrimp have garlic on them. So we pulled some shrimp out of the jar, just like the others, put them in this tub, and I added in some of the Graybills garlic on them. You don't need much, about a teaspoon of garlic oil, just enough to give them a little bit of smell. Garlic is really powerful, so you don't have to add a whole bunch. And then we also added about 2 tablespoons of krill. And this krill garlic mixture tends to be a really great scent as the water warms up a little bit later in the season. So last but not least is sand shrimp. Now sand shrimp I find is always a great staple. If you can find some good sand shrimp that are still nice and lively, these ones are starting to get a little warm at the end of the day. I don't really scent these up, but they're just a good another option to have in the boat. So we always try to bring on along a tub of sand shrimp, and there's some days where these really save us, and I'll show you how to incorporate them in your spinners. But that's our basic bait prep the night before. I go through 3 tubs of shrimp that I add stuff to, whether it's the salmon formula, krill, garlic, tuna fish, and I let those soak overnight. And then of course, throw the tub of sand shrimp in the cooler in the morning with them. All right, so prawn spinner, shrimp spinner rigs. Now, we go pretty in depth on these also. There's a lot of different blades out there. The 3 main things I like to focus on is the 3.5 Cascade multi blades work really well. The 3.5 Hildebrandt blades also work really well. Both these blades they're a different shape, they're a different profile, and they also give a different thump in the water. And one day you'll find the fish tend to like one a little bit over the other. The last one of the other blades I like to throw in is the occasional French blade, which is down here. The French blade, we actually pull off the walleye elite rigs that Yakima Bait makes, and the French blade also has a different profile and is really lightweight, so it allows that flasher to throw it around some. The last rig I throw is a spin and glow shrimp spinner, and what I like about the spin and glow shrimp spinner is it is really lightweight and no drag at all, and so that's going to be your real aggressive action shrimp spinner. So what you have is you have a Cascade blade, which is going to move really slow behind a Pro Troll flasher. You have a Hildebrandt blade, which is a little smaller profile, really great flash, is going to thump a little faster behind a flasher. You have your French blade, which is going to thump a little faster, and then you have your spin and glow rig, which is going to thump the fastest. So you've got multiple different actions going on down there, and depending on which day the fish decide are more aggressive, one will outfish the other. So it's good to throw all these different blades in the arsenal. We're going to go over how to bait these with our different shrimp and be ready to fish. So this is one of the coon shrimp spinner rigs or prawn spinner rigs that I fish with, and this is one of the Cascade blade rigs. Now I have a double hook setup on here. This is a 3/0 main, a 1/0 Stinger single. On here I have a little bobber stop, if you can see it right there in the middle of the leader. That bobber stop to me is very important because this holds the blade and the beads away from the shrimp tail and allows that always continue spinning and doesn't get caught on that shrimp tail. Next, I got a few beads. I got some stacks of green beads, and you can kind of play with whatever you like here. I like just a few small beads from 3 to 5 millimeter, and then a nice clevis, plastic clevis, and your blade. All this is on a 32 to 36 inch leader. Those tend to be my favorite leader lengths for springers. I know as we get later in the year, we do run some shorter leaders a little faster. Sometimes on herring rigs early in the year, we run them a little longer. But for this instance, 32 to 36 is a really good spot. So we're going to show you how to bait this. So this is a coon shrimp spinner. We're going to pick out one of these coon shrimp right here. This looks like a good one. Now this 3/0 hook, we like to start right behind the head. There's a little, that first collar behind the head. We start it right in that collar and come out right out the top of the head like so that it's sticking just out like that. Then we're going to open up this tail like so, and we're going to do take the line and loop it and do 1 half hitch around that tail. And I like to snug it in there between his little swimmers. Snug it in there tight so it has 1 half hitch, so that shrimp is swimming at about a 90-degree angle, just like this. 1 half hitch around, hooks out the top. You can see that stinger 1/0 out the bottom. From here, we're going to slide the blades and the bobber stop down so that we can get our spacing. Now remember, we'd like to keep that blade above the shrimp a little bit. That way that blade stays working. As you see, I stopped that bobber stop, about a 1/4 inch above where it meets my, my half hitch there. And that's going to keep that blade rotating around above that shrimp and never get caught up on the shrimp tail itself. And that's how we bait our coon shrimp spinner rig, just like so. Now, that one's real basic, but we're going to bait a sand shrimp spinner rig. Now this one's a little bit more difficult, a little more technical, takes some time. But what we tied here is we tied a loop knot on the back of a 2/0 single, and this is called either a Nush knot or a Kenai knot, both real popular names. You can look those knots up on how to tie them. But we're going to thread that sand shrimp onto this loop, and then we're going to put the stinger hook on the end. So grab our little threader. We're going to pick up a little sand shrimp here, like so. Now this threader has a little deal that opens up back here in the back, and that little deal is going to grab that loop and pull it through the sand shrimp to thread it on there. So that's your little hook threader, and you can find these at really any sporting goods stores, like a Fisherman's Marine, a Bob's Sporting Goods, a Hooked on Toys. Any of these bigger sporting goods stores that carry a lot of bait tend to have bait threaders, and they're pretty easy to find. So this threader, start right at the back of the sand shrimp, and you're going to thread right down the middle of the shrimp like so until it comes out the head. So he's threaded onto that threader like that. You're going to pick up your spinner, and this is where the little claw comes in handy. See this little claw right here? That little claw is going to go put your loop of line on there for your hooks. Make sure your little deal's closed so that it threads through good. And we're going to thread this shrimp right onto that loop of line till it comes out his head, just like so. And take the threader off. So now that loop of line is threaded right down the center of that sand shrimp. We're going to pick up our treble. Now this treble hook is going to go right on the loop of that line that's coming out of that sand shrimp head. right out that loop with the loop that goes around the treble. So it's on the end of that loop. You just does the half hitch loop around the treble like so. Slide your sand shrimp down so it's sitting on top of that treble, and then take your 2/0 and go through the first hitch of the tail. So now you've got your sand shrimp threaded on there with the treble sticking out of his nose and the 2/0 in his tail to hold him straight. And from there, this one's a nice Hildebrandt blade. This is a Guild Hildebrandt blade, one of my favorites in front of the sand shrimp. Is going to sit right on top of that shrimp and spin. Also with a 32 to 36 inch leader behind your Pro Troll. So that one's a little more technical. We might want to watch that one a couple times over. What you got is you got the threader through the middle of the shrimp onto your loop that's off the end of the 2/0, and then reattach your treble to that loop as your sand shrimp spinner. Those are our two basic spinner setups. Whether you do one or the other and switch out your blades, but that's going to be our two shrimp spinner setups and how we bait them. From there, we attach this over to one of our flasher setups. Now, there's lots of videos out there on this, but this is how I do it. We've got our 32 to 36 inch leader up to our Pro Troll flasher. This chrome and green is one of my favorites. There's lots of them out there, but chromes and greens. Springers love greens incorporated into their flashers, especially early in the morning. In front of the flasher here, I run 50-pound mono, and this is 23 to 24 inches of 50-pound mono. I've always stuck with the mono bumpers. That has worked really great for me over the years. I don't run any breakaways. I feel the flashers thump really well without the breakaways. Yeah, we probably lose a couple more fish here and there because of it, but I also feel like we hook more fish by running them straight like that. Up here at the top, I got a double swivel setup. This is 2 chain swivels attached with a little split ring, and that's a full swivel there to keep everything rotating nice. And then at the end, I got a VIP line lock, which slides over that top swivel with my lead ball. So lead ball, line lock, swivels, 23 to 24 inches of 50-pound, down to my flasher, and then on down to the shrimp spinners from there. Well, that wraps it up for our day of springer fishing out here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We plan on bringing out a lot more content, and again, subscribe to our Northwest Bait and Scent channel, and we will be getting more and more stuff out there for you. But here's a great start on fishing prawn spinners for spring Chinook.